Yes, people, welcome back to Mission Podcast, and it's another episode of Kayfabe and Out, your weekly wrestling roundup. Joined by my very special co-host DK Danny today, and yeah, we're gonna discuss this past Saturday's Saturday Night Main Event and Monday Night Raw. So let's not waste any more time. Then let's talk about the biggest talking point. Then CM Punk is the new world heavyweight champion. Thoughts on the match, Danny, and was it the right decision?
Yeah, I thought it was the right decision. I was saying it here last week on the preview. I thought Punk winning was the predictable, but I thought it was also the logical choice. It made sense when both their stories. Punk, I think, has deserved a title run. He did win it at SummerSlam, but Seth cashed in, and I think having Punk as champion after Seth's drop day, you need someone to basically step up and be like the face of your show. I personally don't think Braun Breaker's ready to be that yet. So the next guy I look at is CM Punk. A veteran in the game, one of the best to ever do it, and I think him winning was the right decision. As I said, after losing for Jey Uso was much better for his arc. If he won, it would have basically just made his character not boring, but like, what's the point of it anymore? His whole obsession, with his darker character was basically him wanting his belt back. That's all he's wanted back. And him just winning here would have basically made me lose all interest in that. So I'm glad CM Punk won. I thought it was the right decision. The match I thought it was okay. There were a few spots where they got a bit sloppy because they both haven't really had a one-on-one match before, so the chemistry wasn't really there. But it picked up towards the end. There was a nice false finish where I thought, Punk actually won first, and then Jay also kicked out of a go to sleep, and then, with the second one he won. So yeah, good for match. Wasn't the worst, wasn't the best.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with you. I thought it was a good match, to be honest. Obviously, there were some botches and stuff, but it is what it is. I thought it was quite a good match for Saturday Night Main Event. And yeah, I agree with you 100%. The right decision. I mean, CM Punk is just that caliber of the superstar. You got to put the belt on right now because obviously after Seth's injury, you need someone to take the mantle, and Punk is 100% that guy. As you already mentioned, Jey Uso, this just helps the storyline. I mean, I think he made an Instagram story post after it as well, saying "you lot won" or something, which
Yeah.
was kind of funny. But yeah, I'm definitely interested to see where this is gonna go. How long Punk's gonna hold the title for? Will he hold it till Mania? Will he drop it before then? What direction is Jey Uso gonna go in now? So I feel like it was 100% the right decision, and yeah, it'll be interesting to see how things play out. Another match on the card. Well, we talked about this on the preview that Drew McIntyre had to win this match, and oh god, Cody Rhodes just literally picked up. Not, I wouldn't say fully clean, but he kind of. It was so weird. Like Cody used heel tactics to win, and it just doesn't make any sense. I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, the whole story, the whole stipulation of this match. I mean, we did the preview on I think Wednesday, and they announced the stipulation on Friday on the Go Home show that if it ends in a DQ, Drew will win the belt. If Cody gets disqualified, Drew will actually win the belt. Vice versa, if Drew gets qualified, Cody retains the belt. It was a nice stipulation, because I mean, it makes sense, right? Drew's been screwed by the referees in his last match at WrestlePalooza. He was basically screwed by the referee, and Cody got himself disqualified on the match on SmackDown. So perfect sense, to have this as a basically if you get disqualified, you lose your belt. So I thought the stipulation made great sense. But then going into the match, I mean, I didn't expect Drew McIntyre for win for a second. I thought Cody was going to 100% retain, but I was intrigued to see how they would do it, especially with the stipulation that was added, and it was just so weird. Cody winning, but basically being the heel in the match and winning with his heelish tactics when the story was the other way around. I don't know, it was so bizarre. And just to talk about this feud, Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre are arguably two of the best in the company, right? I think we can all agree the top five. I mean, I know Drew McIntyre hasn't really been treated as a top five superstar for the last year or so, but he is, if you take everyone in account at their best, I think Drew McIntyre is quite easily a top five superstar in the company. So you have Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre, two top five superstars, and their feud has been so lackluster and soulless. I just haven't cared about the feud. I don't know if that's the way they booked it. I mean, I think that has played into a hand because Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre having a feud. I mean, come on, this started in August after SummerSlam, and now it's nearly what? we're in the middle of November nearly, so they've been feuding for 2.5 months, and it's just felt, I don't know, man, so soulless. And I could not. Apparently, they're going to do a fourth match, which I have no interest in. I don't want to see another match between Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre when I know it's going to end the same way. What does Cody do from here? I don't know. We probably do run that fourth match, but we Drew, I don't know, man. I just don't see him winning the belt anytime soon. I have no clue what they both are going to do at Survivor Series. I don't see them being part of the Vision storyline. I don't know, but yeah, man, it was just annoying. Like I didn't expect him to win, so my expectations weren't really high going into the match. But the way he still played out was probably more annoying.
Yeah, 100%. I've already said I'm done, kind of done with Drew. To be honest, don't really have interest in him. Yeah, doing another match is bizarre. To be honest, if you're not, why couldn't they have just done like I don't know, Drew winning the title at WrestlePalooza, and then I don't know, Cody winning it back at Saturday Night Main Event, and then you just have the blow off match like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, fair enough if you don't want Drew to hold it long term. What's wrong with like a little title change? To freshen it up a bit. But
That's the thing with this current regime, innit? Like they're scared of doing these unpredictable title changes. I can probably remember one or two in Triple H is what nearly 4 years in charge now of actually doing a title change which no one expected. I mean, this guy, he's had so many opportunities with so many different superstars. We spoke about it here for, since we're doing the podcast since January. How many stars has he actually fumbled? He's in Chad Gable, LA Knight, Drew McIntyre. There's guys like Austin Theory who haven't fulfilled their full potential. Plenty of guys which will be like, okay, you can actually strap the rocket on this person. They're ready for that push. And he's 9 out of 10 times going for the more boring, unpredictable option, which, I mean, in wrestling, you kind of want some unpredictability, right? You don't want to be going into every show knowing what the result is going to be. And I feel like for 90, I mean, they've been good pay per views. His pay per views are a strong point, but for the most part, they've been really predictable.
yeah, but it's a balance as well between predictability and unpredictability because
Yeah.
sometimes the predictable option is the right one. Like, because let's be real, when Jey Uso won the Royal Rumble, that was very unpredictable. But looking back in hindsight, that was probably the wrong choice.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just about finding the right balance. I mean, let's briefly talk about the other matches then. Was it Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill? We've got a new champion. Tiffany's reign is over after what 300 days. What did you make of that?
I went downstairs to get a drink, and by the time I came upstairs, the match was over, and I seen Jade hold the title, which I was surprised it was that quick and it was that dominating. I think in Kayfabe it kind of made sense because Tiffy was going into the match with an injury. I don't know if she's actually injured or if it was like a work injury. I don't know what it was, but she did go into the match with an injury, and Jade just squashed her. I think the match must have lasted what 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, and Jade just squashed her. And I mean, I said on the preview that Jade basically had to win. There was no chance. Jade just after turning heel, literally a week before, he literally turned heel on the Smack like two Smackdowns before. If she had lost here, it would just ruin all that. And we've seen Triple H do that a lot of times. Turn these guys heel and they lose all momentum. We've seen that with the New Day, with John Cena retirement tour. We've seen it a lot of times, and I feel like Jade basically had to win here, and that was the right decision. I was just surprised how dominant he was.
Yeah, I don't really care to be honest about either person in this match. Good for them. Um, there was a triple threat match which I thought was actually quite enjoyable. I thought it was good. Dominic Mysterio successfully retained his IC title against Rusev and Penta. I really liked the way Dominic rang the bell to trick Rusev. That was really funny. But yeah, what did you make of that, Dan?
I was gonna say that was my favorite spot of the whole match. Dominic Mysterio actually just going okay, saying, "Oh, how do I get Rusev out of this submission?" Is like instead of going into the ring, the best decision is let me go to the ringside and ring the bell. I thought that was genius by Dominic Mysterio, and he's been really good at doing these little things, which I think he's added to his game. And we be saying it for a long time on this, channel that this guy's ready. He's ready, and we will talk about his promo on Raw with his father, Rey Mysterio, who's returned after a long time. But I thought that was great too. But yeah, I thought Dominic Mysterio winning was the right choice. He's been amazing. He's been one of the bright spots of this whole year, which let's be honest, hasn't really had much bright spots, but I think he has been one of the guys who's, I would like. There's been guys who won the championship and the titles felt like a burden and which just kind of held them back. which is quite strange, yo, because you win the belt, you expect to, get better with the belt. You don't expect to go the other way. We've seen that with basically every champion under Triple H. Like Cody Rhodes, we've seen it right now. John Cena, we've seen it with, some guys who just basically didn't feel like world champions. Well, I feel like with Dominic Mysterio, perfect for him to hold the IC belt. He's doing wonderful stuff with it. Maybe have him defend it a bit more on pay per view, but I think he is the right guy to hold this belt. And I felt it would have been stupid if they gave it to Rusev or Penta. Other than both are great, two great mid carders. Two of I think every week on Road they two of the guys who put on some of the best matches. But yeah, I thought Dominic Mysterio winning was the right call.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Dominic, he's on a roll, man. There's no way even Triple H can't fumble this guy. Like, this guy's just too good. He's too popular. The fans love him. He's just like every time I see him, he's getting better and better and better. But
This
yeah,
was this was a great.
bro, this killed me. I was dying, bro. And Rey Mysterio, Eddie says, don't mention my brother's name.
He's
Oh,
so good, man.
he's amazing, bro. And as you said, Daddy, this kid's ready, man. You got to get him into the main event scene next year or early 2027, 100%. For me, Money in the Bank is the most logical option for Dom next year. But you mentioned Rey Mysterio and Dominic. That feud isn't over. That's far from over as well. And 100% Dominic's got to be the guy to retire his father. I hope that is the plan for whenever that happens. But yeah, man.
I mean, Ray's nearly. Is he 50 now? He's 50. I can't see Ray going for that long. Probably a year or two. I could see not next Mania, maybe Mania 43 is
Yeah,
potential where we
that,
get the Ray.
obviously they done Cena a retirement year this year. Yeah, they're gonna do AJ Styles next year, and then 2027 they'll probably do Rey Mysterio's.
And then after that, probably Randy's or Punk's.
Fucking hell.
Yeah,
Yeah, I hate a retirement tour thing storyline. We've seen how bad it is. I think they're gonna carry on doing it though because it makes them money.
yeah, but I feel like with guys like Mysterio and AJ Styles, they're basically there every week, right? So I
Yeah,
don't think it feel like a retirement tour because they would seen it. They had to basically say he has this many dates. I feel like that aspect of it might be different. But yeah, I do like them terming it as like a retirement tour. Not a fan of that.
yeah, 100%. Speaking of Raw and SmackDown, then what have you made? Has there been an improvement, or is it still just watch?
SmackDown's been the same, to be honest. I don't think it's had a massive improvement. I really enjoyed the Ilya Dragunov against Nathan Fraser match. I thought that was a phenomenal match. You can see shades of Seth in Nathan Fraser. He's the guy he's trained. They had I think probably match of the week for WWE quite easily. I thought great chemistry. Ilya Dragunov, like I said, when he won the belt, have this guy defend every week, and he's doing it so far. Last week he defended it. This week against Alistair Black. This week against Nathan Fraser. Next week, I think this Friday might be against Tommaso Ciampa because he was the guy who came. He wanted the title shot first, and then Nathan Fraser came out. But Ilya Dragunov, I mean, this is the best way to build the stock, right? Like, have him just defend this belt against all the SmackDown mid carders. I mean, beat all of them, and then the guy who does eventually beat Ilya Dragunov will actually feel like a big deal. So, I thought that's one thing. It is quite, I wouldn't say boring because open challenges are always fun, but I mean, it's a really simple way to get Swan over, and we've seen it with Cena in 2015. Sami Zayn for the 9-10 matches he had, I thought phenomenal run, and let's hope Ilya Dragunov can carry this on for a bit. So that's one part of SmackDown I am really enjoying. The tag division, I don't know, man. I'm not the biggest fan of it right now because the Wyatts hold the belt, but I mean, they're building to MFT, Soulless faction against the Y6. That might happen as Survivor Series as like a 5-on-5. I mean, there was reports that might happen as the Wargames match, but I mean, I don't think it's gonna happen. I mean, we'll talk about Raw, but I think there's like the vision against Roman Punk will be the match. Wargames, but I mean, MFT against Y6. Not really have any interest on it, but again, it's a nice little story there. And then the women's division, I don't really care about. It's the same women in the same division. I think they really badly need a shake up on the women's division. And then the main event seed, Beyonce, Randy Orton, and God knows how long Jacob Fatu is injured. I mean, Cody and Drew are the only guys, and they've been feuding in a boring and soulless feud. So could not care about SmackDown. But on the other hand, Raw, I think this week was okay. It wasn't the best. I mean, I didn't watch all of it live. I watched some of it live, like the first segment with Punk and Logan Paul. Before the show started, there was kind of, I mean, someone reported that it was going to be Punk and Jay against the Vision in the main event, and Triple H came out like an hour before that and goes, "It's going to be a new landscape, blah blah blah." You know what he loves to say, and I'll say, "Bro, you're putting the Vision in the main event against two top stars. We've seen this for the past 6 months. Like, genuinely, what is the new landscape?" But then Raw started, Punk came out. I thought it was a great promo about Punk, saying I'm basically going to take on all challenges. He called out names like Dominic Mysterio, Sheamus, JD. He said John Cena, which John Cena against CM Punk match at MSG or in Cena's hometown Boston for a title match could be good. Could be good. I don't know if they're gonna do it, but again, that's something if they want to, rectify scenery, Punk's last match at Night of Champions, which was, just ruined by interferences. They could have a nice main event on a Raw. I think it's in 2 weeks' time in Boston or MSG. So that's a good pathway to go through. And then Logan Paul came out. This was the last. I don't know why it was so obvious, but this was the last guy I actually expected to come out. And he came out, and for a brief second, he just turned babyface. I was like, okay, this is not right. He's definitely going to turn heel by the end of the night, which when I woke up in the morning, I seen he did. But yeah, he helped, he tried to help CM Punk, take on Braun and Bronson, and then he just got tsunamied. And then, they announced Punk and Jay against the Vision. That happened. And then in the main event, Logan Paul basically came out to make the save, got his brass knuckles on, and hit CM Punk with him. It was so obvious that, it's going to happen. But yeah, I mean, we can talk about it now, but for War Games, I think that is the plan. I think we do get Logan Paul, Braun, Bronson, and maybe Brock. I can see Brock potentially, or Drew. Actually, I don't see Drew now. Probably Brock against Roman, Punk, Jay, and Jimmy or LA Knight. I think one of them will be the fourth member. But yeah, I definitely think Raw basically laid the landscape out for War Games, and I think Roman will probably return in the next few weeks. We'll probably get Brock in the next few weeks, or whoever the Vision wants as their fourth member. And I can see Jimmy or LA Knight. Either of them will be fine, to be honest, being the fourth man for War Games.
Yeah, I pretty much don't really have much to say about the programming recently. I mean, a report came out today. I think SmackDown had its lowest viewing figures in like ages, which I mean, they don't really care about TV viewership and stuff anymore. Obviously, since they moved to Netflix and we're in the online era now. But yeah, I think that's pretty indicative of the state of WWE right now, isn't it? Speaking of Raw, Triple H comes out before the show tweeting stuff like, "Oh, it's a new era," blah blah blah, and it was pretty much a run-of-the-mill generic Raw that we've seen in 2025. So I don't know what Triple H was smoking, but yeah, Logan Paul. Logan Paul is the most. I don't know what it is about him. Yeah, nothing he does is believable. Do you know what I mean?
It's manufactured. I think that's the word.
Like even that whole at the start of the show when you see him going back into help on, you just knew it was fake. Like he just makes it so obvious. Before. Um, but yeah, as you said, Danny, the main event looks like they're gonna do the Vision versus Team Punk or Roman or whatever. Ugh.
I'll be real. I don't have interest in him, man. I don't know what he is over the last. I don't know if he says injury. I don't know what it is. But having Logan Paul there instead of and just, I mean, it's so boring and predictable. And we've spoken about it before here. War games shouldn't feel like a necessity. It shouldn't feel like, okay, we have to build all our storylines around this one gimmick pay per view. We should just be able to do it naturally. And I feel like the first year, the second year, I can probably say, I don't know about the second year, but last year I thought Bloodline against OG Bloodline, it made sense. But with this year, they have got to November and they were like, okay, we have to put, a War Games match together. Let's get the top four baby faces on Raw, Roman, Punk, Jay, and Jimmy LA against our top heel faction. And I don't know, man. I'm not the biggest fan of it. Last year, I was interested in OG Bloodline against Bloodline. I thought that was a real good story. I hope Solo's faction did win that, but I mean, they lost. I thought it was kind of expected. The year before that, we had Punk and Randy's returns. Thought that was a really good match as well. The first year was really good with, Sami Zayn basically helping. Jay win and low blowing KO. It made sense, but this year I don't know, man. I don't know why. I don't know if it's no Seth, who's basically been the main guy in the division, getting injured and ruining the momentum. I don't know why it is, but I'm not really. I don't. They probably forced it too much. I think that's why it is. They forced it 4 years in a row, or yeah, this is the fourth one, and I don't know, man. You should only do war games when it basically helps your storyline develop. It just feels like they're forcing it.
Yeah, I agree with you, Danny. We talked in depth about it on last week's episode. I'm not a fan of gimmick pay-per-views and gimmick matches being used out of force rather than when the storyline needs it or serves it. To be honest though, with you, Danny, even with Seth, I don't think I would have had much of an interest.
Yeah, agreed. But I feel like with Seth, at least there's that stuff with Punk, there's that stuff with Roman, there's more of a story there. But with this, like, what business does Logan Paul have being in this match? Or just the Vision basically needing another heel. That's all it was. And again, I don't think Braun or Bronson have really looked great. I said it. I said it the first week. You should have put the title on Braun. If you really wanted to, you know, take this guy into stardom. If you want to catapult Bron Breakker, your next big star to stardom, you put the belt on him. And I kind of feel like it's not ruined him. Like I don't think the hype's totally died down, but the week he turned on set, the week after that, the full week we were speculating what they're gonna do with Braun, and I feel like that's kinda died down. But that's been the story with the 2025 WWE with every big storyline they've done. Cena's heel turn, which is one of the biggest one, right? We fantasy booked it. We fantasy booked so many different things that could happen, and they went with the most boring, laziest choice. And I got a feeling they're gonna do that with Bron Breakker.
I mean, I think we done. I think Lenny and Hazo on the show when we were talking about it, they were saying, "Nah, putting the time in. I get it. I understand what they're doing." But yeah, I feel like we were right, to be honest.
Yeah,
It's just kind of like fizzled out. Like again, it's a Bron Breakker. Yeah, that's a guy you'd think there's no way you can fumble a Bron Breakker, and it looks like they are at the moment.
yeah.
Obviously, things change. I mean, Jacob Fatu, bro, he's a guy, another guy you can't fumble that, and they basically fumbled it. Um, it's really bizarre, man. It's really bizarre. It's funny, isn't it? Out of all this like hot stars that they had, they decided to put the rocket on Jey Uso, and that didn't work out. And maybe they're thinking, oh look, we tried with Jay and it didn't work, and we don't want to take a risk with someone else. But I think that's just a shit way of looking at it and booking in it. But
I mean, with the current timeline, I don't see when Braun Breaker actually wins the title, or if he does just beat Punk for the title, which I don't think they're gonna do. I mean, it's good, right? I mean, I have no clue who's gonna win the Rumble, which I think is kind of good because there's always the unpredictability there, which we've been asking. And again, last year we had no clue who's gonna win the Rumble. This year, right now, it is early. He's still 2 months away from the Rumble, 2 3 months. I have no clue who's gonna win the Rumble. If I had to put money on, I'd just say Roman. I say it's a Rumble in Saudi. Saudi won the big guys. I think Roman is your biggest star right now. Have Roman win the Rumble after being booed out of the building 11 years. Have him actually win it as a babyface. I think that'll be a nice little story. But that Sami Zayn, I don't see right now. I can see Sami Zayn winning the title. Saudi Mania, so I don't see him winning the Rumble this year. Look at all the choices. I don't see them having Braun Breaker win the Rumble. I thought Roman is the only choice if you've got any names, copy.
uh, I don't know if you saw that report. A report came out today that reportedly for 2026 WWE has no big surprises for the Rumble, which is I think I think that's bullshit though, because it's Saudi and Saudi are gonna fucking drop the bag to have the most stupidest returns. They'll fucking have Undertaker come out in the fucking Rumble or something.
Well, I think Chris Jericho is a guarantee, so there will be a surprise there.
I think they're just trying to throw us off because I refuse to believe, Saudi ain't gonna drop the bag to have all these legends make appearances in the Rumble. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
definitely.
Like Stone Cold in the Rumble, I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. But WWE, man. The only thing I see is a bit interesting about this Wargames match. You mentioned Brock. If they do bring in Brock, I can't lie. I think it'll be interesting to see the dynamic between Brock and like Braun. Like, if they can do like a thing where there's tension between them, like, over who's in charge of the team, blah blah blah. That could be something good. That could be something interesting. Like imagine after the match, you have either like, let's say the Vision wins, yeah, you can either Braun like just spear the shit out of Brock after the match, or Brock just fucking F5 Braun, set up something between them. Do you know what I mean? That's the only interesting thing I can see from this whole scenario. I don't know if you agree.
Yeah, I mean that dynamic between Braun and Brock, which we've never seen them together in the ring. I think it will be, a really fascinating dynamic. Braun's, I mean, he showed when he speed said that this guy has no control over anything. When you see a guy like Brock, he's more calculated. Paul Heyman basically knows what he's doing with Brock. With a guy like Braun, he's not been able to control him. So I think that kind of dynamic there. I mean, like you said, I'd love it if after the match, Braun Breaker just beat Brock Lesnar. Braun Breaker was like, okay, I don't care who he is, you know, I'm
That would
just
be
that would be
that
I mean
hit that will turn Braun back like, into a star. Do you know what I mean?
exactly like you did that with Seth first as a star. He took out, got massive, reaction. Do that at the end of Survivor Series. Just be like, even as a heel, Brock's a heel, Braun's a heel. Just take him out, be like, and then come out the next week and be like, I don't care who he is. I don't need anyone. And all this bullshit. And then I think it'd be great. But yeah, I think the more interesting part for me is how Paul Heyman tries to control Braun Breaker, because we've seen over the last few weeks he can't control him.
Yeah, and they could do like a thing as well, like it could like game recognizes game in it. Like Brock Lesnar, obviously at one point he was Bronze Age, and when he first came in, he was kind of similar. He did whatever the fuck he wanted. Like he can have like funny promos between them, but be like, "I like you, kid. You remind me of myself." Stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? It
Yeah.
would be such an interesting thing. Like, yeah, but you can have either Braun or Brock turn. But I think we, I think I like the idea of Braun doing it, just sparing the shit out of Lesnar. It'll do more good for him in his career at this stage, you know. But yeah,
Yeah,
that's
and
how
that
I.
can basically write Brock off after Survivor Series, yeah, because we won't see Brock until in the Rumble then. That can write him off. He can come in. I think Braun will be in the Rumble if he's not champion. I don't see him being champion, but then Braun and Brock Lesnar in the Rumble, Braun Breaker maybe eliminate him. And we get that match at Mania. If the plan is not to put the belt on Braun Breaker yet, I think that could be great, and that's a great way to set you up.
We Triple H, mate, are you watching? We've literally just booked one of your big marquee Mania matches for you. Told you everything, but they'll find a way not to do that. But
Yeah.
yeah, another bit of news. Really, not really much to talk about this week, to be honest. Before we wrap up and stuff, there's a few.
We missed Cena's tournament.
Oh yeah, I'd seen this on my fucking. Ah, I saw the first two matches that they announced, and I was like, oh my god, I'm not.
Oh my days, bro. Talk about going with the most uninspiring choices ever. Rusev against was it Rusev against Damian Priest and Sheamus against Shinsuke Nakamura? Bro, I'm asking. I've asked for the whole heel turn of Cena, yeah, since 2010 deal. I want some interesting matchups, some exciting matches, him to actually, go in the ring with these young guys. And you've put the first four names announced are all over 40. Like, it's not really the most inspiring choices, is it? But let me pull the names up right now. I think they announced most of the.
I think see in this whole run, yeah, the only like new. Well, I mean, has Cena had a match with Cody Rhodes before? I can't remember.
No, not they might have one, but back in 2013, but not properly.
Yeah, so I say Cody Rhodes is like the only like new guy Cena's face on this retirement tour, which
Like
is kind of
them
criminal.
names, yeah, them names there, the Miz he's faced. I don't think anyone wants to see that. Rusev, again, they did a nice feud in 2015, but I don't want to see that. Solo Sikoa beat him 2, 3 years ago. I don't want to see that. Sheamus, I think Sheamus against John Cena in 2025 would be a fun match, but that's not a match I want as Cena's final match. LA Knight, again, I don't want that. I don't think LA Knight needs it. Drew McIntyre, listen, I'll be fine with that. I think that could be seen as one of Cena's potential.
Out of all the names, I think Drew needs it the most. But
I think Drew and Gunther. We'll get into Gunther. I think Gunther is the favorite to win this. I think we were talking about this in the group chat the other day. Gunther's stocks have dropped like crazy. I mean, he hasn't been seen on TV since August, but generally this year, last year he was booked like a monster. He held the Intercontinental Championship. I lost it to Sami Zayn Mania. Then he won the King of the Ring, became champion. His championship reign started off quite well. Sami Zayn, Randy Orton. Then it kind of fizzled out because he got into, Damian Priest and Finn Balor and Jey Uso. Then after that, losing to Jey Uso, getting in a feud with Pat McAfee and all that bullshit. and then facing and then winning the title back. I thought that was good because I think he did need to win the title back. Then losing against Punk and not being seen on TV. I mean, I think his booking's been atrocious this year, and I think having him beat Cena could kind of put some stock back into him. Out of Gunther or Drew Carpe, who would you like to see win it?
Uh, can't lie, Drew. I think Gunter, you can go another way about it with Gunter because I don't know. I wouldn't mind either, but I've lost interest to be honest with you. Um, I'm not really interested. Like you see a new name that Dominic, the only two new names, Dominic and Carmelo Hayes. I'd be like, yeah, those are guys that probably really need it. I saw an idea on Twitter actually. Is Carmelo Hayes? Is he from Boston as well?
I think so. Yeah, he is.
So I saw the Boston show. Like Cena can do like an open challenge similar to how what Kurt Angle done for him, and it's Cena that came out. And then maybe this time Carmelo Hayes comes out, and that could be good. I wouldn't mind something like that. And
Yeah,
then yeah,
he's from Boston. That
yeah,
could be something to do. Yeah,
the
but I mean,
recreate the John Cena thing with them. That would be kind of fun to
yeah,
see.
but I don't see them going with Carmelo Hayes. Dominic Mysterio, I still have hope you get that match as Survivor Series. I think that is the way they're
You know what?
showing his push.
I remember you posted that thing, the potential five opponents for Cena's last, and people were like, oh nah, Dominic being Cena's last match is a disgrace.
It's not. It's not.
I was like, what? Like, that makes any sense? If anything, I wouldn't mind Dominic being his last match. I know maybe you might not agree, but I'm down to see that Dominic and Cena as his last match. Him chasing the Grand Slam title, and Dominic fucking wins. You know what I mean? It'll be hilarious that he can just like rub it in people's faces.
I'm
Ah,
I'm fine with it, but I'd rather prefer having him face Cena before his final match, if you get what I mean. Like as a final match is fine, but I think there are two, three better options you go with. I think the names I put on were Dominic Mysterio, Drew, Gunther. I put LA there, and I think I put Obafemi there. I think Obafemi is another guy. You bring him straight up from NXT. How do you make someone straight away into a main eventer? You have them beat Cena in his final match. Obafemi being that young just came from NXT. He has a title. Everyone will remember that guy as the one who retired John Cena. I think that is just one way you could put someone on the map straight away. So, and again, Obafemi has the look. He can wrestle. He can talk in this fake accent, which I found annoying. Just why he talking in a fake accent. But again, I think he has everything to be a main eventer for the company. Having him beat Cena in his final match, I think could be great. But again, if I had to put money on it, I'd probably say Gunther will be the one who retires Cena.
yeah, I wouldn't mind that bringing someone up from NXT to take Cena out in his last match. If anything, Cena is about giving back. Yeah, I think he'd love to put over a younger talent. But yeah, Gunter or Drew, to be honest, from that list there, those are the only I can see realistically being seen as last opponent. I mean, when Cena done the video for it, he did mention it could be someone from another company. I don't know if we should look too much into that, but
I don't think it will be someone from another company, but I think he's probably talking about like AAA or TNA, like Joe Henry or Matt Cardona, which could be in the tournament. But I don't see any from winning it. I think it definitely be a
if
WWE superstar.
I see Joe Hendry anywhere near this.
Uh,
But yeah, man, Cena, it's kind of sad, isn't it? Like, I should be excited for this whole thing to come to an end, bro. But like, I just don't care the way they've booked it. I've lost so much interest.
by the
But
way, does Cena have an appearance after his final match, or is that where he retires?
no, I think that's it. He retires.
So he do his speech and everything on the show.
Yeah, or maybe even after the match he'll do it. Depends if they put more matches on the card or it's just that match. I said this. I wouldn't mind if they for the Saturday night main event for Cena's last one. Yeah. Or how long is it? Like 3 hours, isn't it? Saturday
It's
night
two
main.
hours. No, Saturday main event is 2 hours max.
Okay, 2 hours. Yeah, you can easily do like a 30 to 45 minute match of just Cena versus last opponent, and then the rest can be like speeches, tribute. Do you know what I mean? I would 100% wouldn't mind that. Because at this point, what the fuck is Saturday's Night? It's a glorified house show. Do you know what I mean? Um,
His entrance should be playing all of his best moments,
actually,
having
actually,
people in all of his gear just being there. I think he's And last entrance has to be special, man.
Yeah, 100%. I wouldn't even fucking mind if they done like a half an hour entrance. You know what I mean? I don't care. To
Yeah,
dedicate that whole show to John Cena. He fucking deserves it. Have people giving him vignettes. You can have, I don't know, Kurt Angle come out, some of his best opponents. Do you know what I mean? Like, just go
yeah.
out. All deserves it. I don't
I
even
know
care.
that's what I know
I don't
that's
even.
what we want Carpe, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be like a normal Saturday night main event with Cena. But it'll be more Cena like a Cena kind of show, but it's still have matches. And I think a match with my guy is Punk against Logan. I think Punk against Logan might open that show. I'm not gonna lie.
Listen. I think that's a slap in the face for Cena. Do you know? I know Cena's very humble like that. He doesn't want the whole thing to be about him, but nah, man. That show has to be like a full-on 2-hour tribute to Cena. You know what I mean? Nobody even
The
cares for
rest
them.
ever got a tribute show? Can't think of one.
Nah, I can't think of one. But yeah, they should do like a special Cena themed thing. Just dedicate it all to Cena, and then you can end it with his match and his retirement speech, whatever you want to do. But yeah, I don't want to be seeing any other matches on that show, to be honest with you. But
Yeah.
yeah. Speaking of, there's some news that have come out. Cody Rhodes has had a lot to say. He's basically come out and said that he thinks his next contract with WWE will be his last, which is quite interesting. Yeah, I'm not shocked.
Yeah, I'm not really surprised. I don't know when his current contract finishes. Probably 2027 or 2028. I'm not really sure. If that finishes in the next few years, what he's nearly 40 now. By the time this current contract finishes, he'll be 42, 43, and then he'll probably sign his last big contract for, let's say, 4 or 5 years. By the time he is probably done with the company, he's probably like 45, 46, and then he can go, to his Hollywood thing. Well, yeah, I don't know what people were really surprised about this. I can't expect this. Like, he's in his prime right now. He's giving, he's a champion. He's giving everything to his company right now, doing all the live shows, being at basically every SmackDown, even Rosie that sometime he's in his prime right now, and I think his next contract will be like his final big contract, and after that he'll probably go into like a Roman schedule where he'll probably be there for the big shows here and there. But yeah, I'm not really surprised. I can't expect this.
Yeah, I mean, Cody Rhodes has all his dream is not even wrestling. I don't know why people make it out like he
Hollywood,
said, did he go to like acting school or something, and it didn't work out. That's when Dusty put him in
yeah,
something like that. But obviously, his first dream was to be an actor, which fair enough. Do you know what I mean? He's got the pedigree behind him now to transition. I mean, he was in the Naked Gun this year. He's going to be in Street Fighter next year. Listen, good for him, innit? 100%. And I feel like a lot more wrestlers now are delving into Hollywood. I mean, we've seen Liv Morgan when she was filming something. Drew McIntyre
yeah.
even role coming up. I think we're going to see a lot more wrestlers just doing like stuff outside WWE, like especially in this era now. There's more leniency, and under Vince, like Vince was very strict in it. Unless it's for WWE studios, like he ain't let you do shit. But
Yeah.
but obviously now TKO, they like that because them going to Hollywood and being in movies, what does it do? It brings in more casuals and
Mm.
makes it more mainstream. So it's a good thing for them. It's a win-win situation. But I think the concerning thing is though, like obviously Cody came back in 2022, and they just put the rocket on him, made him the face of the company, and looks like he's probably on his way out. Like, who's to say? You know what I mean? Even if he does sign a new contract for 4 or 5 years or whatever, who's to say it's going to be a full-time thing? You know what I mean? If he finds success in Hollywood in his next few roles, starts getting more and more, what's to stop him from saying I'm going to go part-time? Do you know what I mean? And that's the problem for WWE. Who's the next guy? Who on this roster do you have that can take the mantle from Cody Rhodes? Do you
In
think?
when Rock Austin Law left, the peak of wrestling, people would say the
Yeah,
top two stars the company's ever had. They left, and people were like, "Okay, who's gonna come through now?" And at that time, I don't think Vince really had his eye on anyone really. And then came, the OVW crew with Randy, Cena, Brock. Brock was the first one, exploded. Then Cena and Randy both kind of exploded.
as
Became
well.
these massive stars for the company. And Vince was, he it was amazing. He created three massive stars. Brock left, came back later, but those were even Batista. Of course, we got Batista. Batista again. Randy, Cena, and Batista were three guys from 2003, four until probably 2016, where Cena became more part time. But like, okay, these are the three main guys in the company. Randy can be your massive heel. Cena can be a massive babyface. Batista can play a bit of both. That was great. Then we got to 2012, I'd say, where okay, we were like, okay, we need to create some more stars now. And then the company hit the jackpot with the Shield. You had three massive stars come out of the Shield. You had Roman, you had Seth, you had Dean. And those three guys basically led you for, I mean, Roman and Seth are still doing it. It's been, what, 12, 13 years now. Roman more part time. Seth, I think he'll go part time real soon. And then, you got the NXT crew with guys like Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Finn Balor. And that basically, okay, but 10 WWE for the next 10 years, you've got all these guys around, right? Like Ryan, now let's talk about guys like Seth, Roman, Punk, Cody, Gunther, Sami, Drew. All these guys are basically either in their 40s or really close to 40s. Or even Randy, like he's close to retirement. Who in the current roster, like you just said, Carpe, can I trust for the company to make the next big star? Right now, the way they've booked him in the last few years, no one. I don't trust this company to make. I mean, they've got plenty of time here, right? It's not like guys like Cody, Roman. I mean, Roman maybe soon, but Punk, Cody, Gunther, Drew, Seth. I don't see them guys retiring anytime soon. I could see it in the next few years, especially with guys like Punk. Like he's what 46, 47 now. I don't see him going until he's like 50, maybe then he retires. Seth, I could see him retiring a bit earlier. He said, he probably want to go on the part-time schedule because he's got a daughter now and everything. And with Gunther, I think he's 40. He's still got another 5, 6 years. But the crop after that, there's Braun Breaker, Jacob Fatu, Dominic Mysterio. I can put in that bracket. Bar that, I just don't see anyone who's willing to be the next top babyface of the company. And again, with the way Triple H is, booking these guys, I just do have hope in anyone. But I mean, we say this every. I mean, people do say this every time, like who's gonna
Yeah.
be the next big star in the company, and they
I,
always find yeah, and they always find a solution. They did that back in 2003 and 4, 2012, 13, and they've again during the last few years with guys like Gunther coming on the top, Drew over the last since he came back from when they fired him and he came back, and again with Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, all these guys have been in the main event scene for the next 10 years, and these guys are getting old now. In the next 5 years, we could see plenty of them retire. Kevin Owens ain't even wrestling anymore because of his old injuries. Like that guy might not wrestle ever again. I don't think ever will. Drew, Sami, Seth, Cody, Gunther, Roman, Punk. These are all the top stars now. Once these guys retire, who is going to be them stars that basically take the mantle and be like, okay, we're the next gen. And right now, I just don't see it. We've got plenty of time left until them guys retire, but right now, I don't see it.
yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting. I mean, Braun Breaker, Jacob Fatu. I wouldn't really put Gunther in that bracket, to be honest. I don't think
Yeah,
he's
fair.
got that caliber to like be a face of the company. Do you know what I mean? Um, but yeah, Braun Breaker definitely is one of them. But they need to be careful in it. The way they're booking them right now, it's not very good. But they'll find someone, man. They'll find someone definitely. But it'll be interesting to see. But yeah, that's pretty much all we wanted to talk about today on this week's Kayfabe and Out. We've got plenty more wrestling content coming your way soon. But yeah,
We'll have the Survivor Series themed episodes in the next few weeks too.
yeah. But if there's anyone that actually watches this shit like, to the end or whatever, and they're
Yeah.
interested in online, let us know. Contact us on our social media, whatever, blah blah blah. But yeah, man, it's been a good one. That's been Mission Podcast. That's been Kayfabe and Out. We'll see you next week for the next one.